Welcome back to Spiritual Workings. I'm your host, Era Zaffer. Today we are going to be looking at runes. Runes are traditionally a Nordic divinatory tool. Runes themselves were actually the early written language of the Norse, or the Vikings, as many people might think of them. The letter system that we have from them is essentially what led straight into the English alphabet. Now theirs was influenced by the Latin alphabet from the Greeks and the Phoenicians. If you notice when you're looking at any of the symbols, they typically tend to go vertical and diagonal. You notice there's not many of them that are going horizontal. Now, that's because runes were largely carved into wood when they were first being used, and as a result, you didn't want to go horizontally because it could mess with the fibers in the wood. Now, runes then and today are often carved into stone, into wood, bone, or pretty much anything that you could carve into. As a result, when you're carving, you're not typically going to have rounded edges. It's going to be a little bit more pointed, as you might think if you were trying to carve something in with like a key or a knife. My particular set of runes is amethyst, but you could use a different stone if you'd like. I also have a bone set and a wooden set, so it's really just a matter of personal preference. When you're considering which set of runes is best for you, one place to start would be looking into Elder Futhark and Younger Futhark. There's actually two different sets of runes. You can kind of think of it like tarot. We have the Major Arcani and Minor Arcani, but there's a little bit more overlap when it comes to the Elder Futhark and the Younger Futhark. And whereas with tarot, it would obviously all be one deck. With runes, it would technically be two different sets. I suppose you could mix and match, but typically someone would find themselves more likely to be using the Younger Futhark or the Elder Futhark. Now, I personally tend to prefer the Younger Futhark. It just kind of resonates with me better, but I do have sets that are the Elder Futhark. So really just look into them, see the symbols, literally just look them up online and find all of the different meanings. If that is something that you guys are interested in and want me to dive into more, I certainly can. One thing I did want to go over today, what do you do once you have your runes? So obviously they're typically going to come in some sort of bag to hold them. Now some people, they might, dump it out like I did, and you could almost think of it kind of like casting lots, and you could kind of see where they land and try to interpret from there. You could pull out individual pieces and place them sort of like you might think with tarot, or typically kind of what I do is I kind of take them out and then I kind of think of the question that I'm asking, or if I'm doing a reading for someone else, I might have them put that question into them. Now, once you decide if you want to keep them in the bag or if you want to just drop them out and then pick your pieces from there, you're going to go ahead and pick a spread. Kind of like thinking like with tarot or oracle cards. I'll go ahead and do my preferred spread. I actually really like the runic cross. So when we're looking at the placement of the runes, we're going to see we have our past position, our present position, followed by our perceived outcome, or someone might think the future is going to be. Then we have sort of our underlying for the whole reading. Now this one is what's in the way of getting us to the future. So once you have your spread done, from there you kind of need to decide if you want to read any of the runes as having an upright versus upside down meaning. Now typically you might think in tarot if it would be upright or upside down. With runes, it's quite literally, is it the symbol facing the ground or is it facing up towards you? And deciding if that has an opposite meaning or not. Like with tarot, some people find it easier just to read everything one way. I personally like to read things with an opposite meaning depending on which way it gets placed. So once you have your spread done, you can go ahead and start with past. What I'm looking at when I see this is an indication of change. It's looking at new beginnings, maybe just a different direction in life or on a spiritual path. This one right here, if we're looking at the present, it has a little bit more to do with the universe giving you an energy and sort of what you do with it. We could think, for example, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? So it's not saying that maybe the road ahead is going to be easy or if it's going to be hard, but no matter what you're given, just play the hand that you're dealt. This one, as for perceived future, it has a bit of an aspect of the unknown to it. So maybe when we're looking at that one, we might be thinking the future isn't really known. Maybe there's some mystery to it. It's not really like this perceived future is something which we have an actual perception of yet. It seems a little clouded. When we're looking at the whole underlying, a lot of this is just about rebirth, renewal, new beginnings, things like that. So maybe if you were considering that, if you were starting a new career, if you're planning on moving or starting out your spiritual journey, whatever that would be. Now, this one, the thing which is in the way of us getting to where we're headed in the future, in this case, actually is about victory. It's actually not something which is getting in the way of our goals. It's actually quite literally saying you have the ability to get to where you're going. There's really nothing in your way, and any obstacles that come in your way, you can overcome them. Now, this one has to do with like a journey or travel. I always like this one because it's sort of indicating things should be going well. If you notice, none of these were upside down. So like I said, I would have read the upside down meaning, but since none of them were upside down, it's pretty straightforward on what each of them is saying. So with this travel one, if this is in the future, then we're looking at some sort of journey that is going to occur or is starting to occur. Now, maybe this is for you guys and is looking at like the spiritual journey. Maybe it's this channel as a whole, right? I didn't really specify what the reading was about. I didn't ask a question. What I'm starting to perceive from a lot of this is it might even be pertaining to me moving soon. I'm going to be moving to Los Angeles. Perhaps it's a little bit of a reading for everyone. You know, maybe there's something to be gleaned for someone who's starting out their spiritual journey, someone who's starting a new career, or someone like me who maybe is moving somewhere else. In any case, divination is a wonderful tool which can be used at your disposal. So if you guys would like me to make more videos on other forms of divination, such as tarot, palmistry, astrology, or anything else like that, let me know. I'm sort of at this point where I'm not sure what direction to go with in the channel. I would love to see where you guys want to go. If you want me to start talking about that stuff, I can. If you'd like me to start talking about energy work that I do, like Reiki or psychic surgery, if you want me to continue working with spirit guides, we could do a guided meditation of some sort, then I'm really open to any of those. In the meantime, next week I will be releasing the first video in a new series I'm creating on most haunted places in the world. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely check it out next week. And then the week after that, it's pretty much open to whatever you guys want to do. So just let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe and help support this brand new channel. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.